What's going on, everybody? Mike here with iSMELL, and yes, we are in fact back at it with another video. So check it out. Regardless of what side of the fence you are on, one thing is for absolute certain: sweet fragrances are all the rage, and that is quite simply because those are gonna be the type of fragrances to draw in compliments. So that's the direction I want to pivot the channel today. What I have for y'all are 10 super stellar, awesome smelling, sweet men's fragrances that you can wear for cold weather that, assuming your game is tight and you wear it right, these are the ones that have the potential to draw in and garner compliments. But I'm not here to waste anybody's time, seeing as we have quite a bit to get through in today's video. Let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, no honorable mentions, right into the nitty gritty. As always, this first fragrance here will be, out of everything that I talk about, the oldest in terms of when it was released. This fragrance in many ways set the bar for the sweet modern designer releases that you currently see in the department stores today. This one comes from the house of Rochas. The name of it is Rochas Man. All right, so there appears to be a running joke within the community that the presentation of Rochas Man is similar to a butt plug. Let me reassure y'all, this fragrance does not smell like ass, neither literally nor figuratively. What is going to be booty is this fragrance's longevity, y'all. About 2 to 3 hours. It is not the strongest performer, but here's the kicker: it's a $30 fragrance. So again, spray to your heart's delight, and you're going to want to do that because this fragrance is absolutely addictive. As you saw, it's a purple juice, and that is going to be because at its core, this is a lavender fragrance, y'all. The lavender in Rochas Man is clean, masculine, aromatic, and smooth. It's going to be paired with the most pleasant, addictive cappuccino note. The cappuccino note is sweet, creamy, comes off as a gourmand, and it warms up more and more as the fragrance develops. The best way I know how to describe Rochas Man is that smell when you walk into a bakery or a coffee shop and you just get a nice, warm, sweet waft of air of pleasant goodness. Again, in terms of the sweetness scale, it's about a 5.5, 6 out of 10. So not the sweetest fragrance. So again, it's not gonna be a room filler fragrance. You can wear this to work. You're not gonna choke the room out, and people are going to think you smell good. It's definitely one that did deserve to be on this list today at the #1 spot. Again, from the house of Rochas, we have Rochas Man. All right, so moving on to fragrance number 2. This one does rank as one of the sweetest fragrances in this entire list. It just so happens to also be the first time I've ever featured it on this channel. We're gonna be diving into the house of Soma Parfums. This one goes by the name of Halcyon. All right, so I'm not here to waste y'all's time. This one effectively is a sweeter, stronger, longer lasting version of Kilian's Angel Share. It's about 90 to 95% similar, and I say that with a fair amount of confidence because I do have both, y'all. In many ways, I do like the Halcyon more. You're gonna get the spicy, boozy rum up top. In the middle, you're going to get tobacco, and then in the base, sweet amber woods. The best way I know how to describe this fragrance is to imagine spiced apple pie. Very, very sweet, y'all. This is sweeter than Angel Share. Has an excellent potential to draw in compliments, cuts through the cold beautifully. My wife absolutely loves this type of DNA, and as do I. It's one of my most worn scent profiles when it starts to get cold. Definitely one worth checking out, in my opinion. At the #2 spot today, from Soma Parfums, we have Halcyon. All right, so moving on to fragrance number 3, we are going to be talking about a fragrance that smells like it was specifically designed for 2 things: cold weather and compliments. We are going to be diving into the house of Jean Paul Gaultier. A million different directions I could have went because most of their offerings, to be fair, are pretty sweet. In this case, we're talking compliments, so we're gonna be going with Le Male Elixir. All right, so do not let this bottle presentation fool you. This fragrance has legs. And by that, I mean it has beast mode longevity, awesome performance. About 5 to 6 sprays will last you all day, plus more. I get about 10 hours of longevity on this fragrance, which is absolutely crazy. And because of that, it checks all the boxes. You want a fragrance that when you spend your money, you feel like you get your money's worth? This is one, because it smells great, cuts through the cold, awesome performance, high likelihood of getting a compliment, y'all. Now, when you spray this fragrance, it's surprisingly fresh up off at the top, but as it develops, it does get more and more sticky, more and more sweet. Yeah, fresh up off at the top, we're gonna be returning to the note of lavender. Again, smooth, aromatic, masculine. It's made a bit more fresh with this kind of cooling mint note, but it doesn't live in that space. As it develops, you're going to get that trademark vanilla that is synonymous with the Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male line. And then you're gonna get honey and then very resinous tonka, amber, woody, vanillic undertones. With the hype being what it is, it's not going to be the most unique fragrance, but if you're looking for compliments, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a better fragrance and one that's gonna cut through the cold weather. At the number 3 spot today, again from Jean Paul Gaultier, we have Le Male Elixir. All right, so moving on to fragrance number 4. This one here is going to be an ideal choice for the type of man that does have a bit of a sweet tooth, but they want something a bit less juvenile and more sophisticated. We are gonna be diving into the house of Guerlain with this next one. The name of it is L'Homme Ideal EDP. See what I did there? All right, so what I really enjoy about L'Homme Ideal EDP is it's a great dichotomy of both feminine and masculine notes working together, welded together in conjunction with one another. You're gonna get a sweet, syrupy cherry note right up off at the top, y'all. It's a bit jammy as well because it is also blended with rose. Yeah, beautiful fragrance, and then they build off of that iconic DNA, that nutty, powdery almond, and they smooth it out, sweeten it out, give it a bit of a gourmand edge. Almond and cherry, 2 main notes in conjunction with each other. Feminine notes, like I said, being blended with masculine notes. You have a masculine supple leather with a smoky incense. All of those notes in conjunction with each other, beautifully blended, about 5 to 6 hours. Awesome date night fragrance that will cut through the cold and does have a strong potential of pulling in compliments. At the number 4 spot, again, from the house of Guerlain, we have L'Homme Ideal EDP. All right, so there was no way in hell fragrance number 5 was not going to be on this list. It is and does rank as one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. It's also just so happens to be my wife's favorite fragrance on me to wear. Moving on to Tom Ford, we are talking about Black Orchid. All right, so Black Orchid is a dark, opulent, rich fragrance, y'all. Nighttime, date time, spicy time type fragrance. Perfectly unisex, which quite honestly is likely the reason why so many women like this fragrance. They like the way it smells because it's something they themselves would wear as well. Marketed for women, but a strong, confident man can definitely pull this one off. Heavy in the florals. Again, it has a truffle note, sweet truffle note, decadent dessert-like note mixed with dark florals and a ton of patchouli with some underlining fruity sweetness. Definitely one of my favorite fragrances to wear. One that you should definitely check out, y'all. It's a staple in my collection and again, a statement maker in my opinion. At the number 5 spot, again, from Tom Ford, we have Tom Ford Black Orchid. All right, so moving on to fragrance number 6, along with Halcyon. This does rank as one of the sweeter fragrances in today's list, and because of that, it's gonna cut through the cold and will grab people's attention, whether they like it or not, because it's a super loud fragrance. We're gonna be talking about Triumph of Bacchus from Argos. All right, so 2 words come to mind when it comes to Triumph of Bacchus. It's gonna be decadence and opulence. Everything from the red, rich juice all the way down to the presentation just kind of channels that vibe, channels that energy. Fruity, infused sweetness, oriental spice. That's the name of the game here. When you first spray this one, you're gonna be introduced to a juicy white peach and a very tart green apple. Very fruity fragrance, y'all. The fruit in this one lasts from the opening all the way to the dry down. if it wasn't for the tobacco in this fragrance's core, this would be a very feminine fragrance, but it's made to be just a little bit masculine. And then in the base, you're going to get sandalwood, amber wood. It's going to be a sticky, amber woody, resinous, vanillic base. It's a fragrance that's gonna last you all day. A little bit light on the trigger. Less will go a long way with this one because you will choke a room out, but it is a statement maker that will cut through the cold weather. That again, if your game is tight and you wear it right, it has a very strong potential of pulling in compliments because again, this is the type of fragrance that a woman would wear as well. Definitely one worth checking out. Again, from Argos, we have Triumph of Bacchus. All right, so moving on to fragrance number 7, we are going to be talking about a fragrance that, quite frankly, needs no long explanation. This one is from Yves Saint Laurent. The name of it is Y Le Parfum. All right, so whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, you have likely at some point already smelt some iteration of Yves Saint Laurent's Y. This DNA is iconic at this point. I ran through a whole bottle of Y EDP and then I upgraded to Y Le Parfum, which is fitting. It's less loud, more grown and sexy version, y'all. And again, this will be the type of fragrance that draws in compliments. It's a mass appealing shower gel, masculine, everyday, dumb reach type fragrance. It's gonna have fruits in the top, citruses, green apple infused with a fizzy pop of ginger, very rich base of tonka bean, herbal aromatics in the mid. It's a staple in every man's collection, assuming you are a serious collector, and one that I do admittedly wear a lot, but this is the first time I featured it on this channel. But if we're talking about compliments, we're talking about fragrances that are gonna cut through the cold weather that women love, it deserves to be on this list, and rightly so. At the number 7 spot, again from Yves Saint Laurent, we have Y Le Parfum. All right, you guys, so moving on to fragrance number 8, we are going to be exploring the world of Zaharoff. Y'all are already well aware that I love the house of Zaharoff. This one goes by the name of Signature Rosé. All right, so although it is not my most worn Zaharoff, I do maintain that it is one of the best blended Zaharoff fragrances I have ever worn. I'm not even the biggest fan of rose, and I really do love this fragrance. It's a fragrance that I wear during special occasions in cold weather. 2 to 3 sprays of this stuff is absolutely magic, y'all. It's money. The rose oils in this one are very prominent. They smell of very high quality. Nothing is synthetic. It's sweet though. It's sweet florals. It has a sugar cane note in it. So it's a sweet fragrance that you can dress up on special occasions, gonna cut through the cold weather. It's gonna grab a woman's attention. She's gonna wanna know what you smell like. A lot of men are risk avert to wearing rose. So when you wear it, you're going to stand out. Again, if your fit is right, y'all, if you're in shape, you smell good, it's the whole package, y'all. It's the absolute whole package. And then in the base, very similar to a lot of George's fragrance, rich, smoky, woody, resinous, ambery base. I absolutely love this fragrance, y'all. Definitely check it out if you have not already. I'm very situational with rosé, but it is one that does have the potential to draw in compliments. And for that reason, I included it in today's video. At the number 8 spot, again, from the house of Zaharoff, we have Signature Rosé. All right, y'all, so moving on to fragrance number 9 is one that I put in the 9th spot because had I put it in the number 1 spot, a lot of y'all niche snobs would have clicked off almost immediately, but I'd be lying to myself if I said I did not wear this fragrance often. We're gonna be jumping to the house of Versace. The name of this one is Versace Eros Parfum. So the dent doesn't lie, y'all. The dent does not lie. Similar to Le Parfum, this is the final version. It's evolved, most mature version of that DNA. Just so y'all are aware, the Eros DNA is retained in the parfum, y'all. So you're still gonna get aromatic freshness, a little bit of spiciness, and that is coming from that minty apple note. Very fresh, aromatic, spicy, surprisingly light up at the top, but as the fragrance progresses and develops, you're gonna get a very sticky amber forward base. This is a base heavy fragrance at the same time, y'all. We're talking about vanilla and benzoin amber woods. Beautiful fragrance in my opinion. It is my favorite out the entire line. It's not as loud and screechy as the original or the EDP. It's a little bit more subdued, but if you spray your clothes, this is a scent profile that will linger, and it definitely deserves to be on this list. At the number 9 spot, again, from the house of Versace, we have Versace Eros. All right, so last but not least, and if you are still watching, big salute. I really do appreciate it. We are going to be talking about a fragrance that is discontinued and shamefully does not get as much love or aware from me as it probably should and would warrant. We're gonna be talking about Azzaro's Wanted by Night. All right, so the reason why I had included it on this list, even though I don't wear it as often as I should, is because we're talking about compliments, cold weather fragrances that women like. And big shout out to Jeff from SoCal Scents. This fragrance did tend to rank high in terms of one of its most complimented, most liked, cold weather fragrances, y'all. This is a designer fragrance with a twist. You do have to like the note of cumin though. I did notice that. Mostly what you're gonna get is a plethora and amalgamation of fruity accords. Not one note stands out. Really, it's just an overall overarching accord blended with a masculine tobacco note. And then you're just gonna get warm amber woods, little vanillic underbase. Beautiful fragrance in my opinion. I just don't wear it enough. I need to make more of a point, more of an effort to reach for it. By all accounts though, from what Jeff is saying, this is one of the better compliment getting fragrances on his whole entire channel. So I thought after much deliberation as to what I was gonna feature, I decided to feature Wanted by Night. My heart was telling me though, Boss Bottle Private Accord should have been featured, but again, when you're ranking both of these discontinued fragrances, I thought Wanted by Night would be a little bit easier for people to get. But in terms of what my wife likes, it is going to be the Private Accord. But in terms of what, people in general like, women like in general, I think Wanted by Night is a solid option. So ultimately I landed on Wanted by Night. Definitely one that y'all should check out. Last but certainly not least, again, from the house of Azzaro, we have Wanted by Night. All right, you guys, that's pretty much a wrap for me. Those are 10 super stellar, super sweet men's fragrances that women are gonna absolutely love. These are fragrances that are gonna cut through the cold weather. Assuming you pick some of these up, you have undoubtedly leveled up your collection. I really do appreciate you checking out the video. More appreciative if you've checked out until the end. For those of y'all that are subscribed to this channel, I do a giveaway almost every single video. It is what sets my channel apart from the rest. So here's what I want y'all to do. Leave a comment below. Let me know which fragrance out of anything that I talked about that you want to check out, and I will send you a free 5 milliliter decant, just my way of saying thank you for checking out the whole video. Listen, I know I don't upload the most, but one thing is for sure, every time you get an upload from me, you are gonna get honest, authentic, and unbiased opinions. In the year of 2026, y'all, that really does have to count for something. I really do love and appreciate all the support. Until next time, all right? I'll see y'all around.